The rancher stopped dead in his tracks. It was dusk, and the sky over the plains burned red as coals. Out by the cottonwoods near his fence line, he saw her, small, dirt-stained hands clawing through the earth like a creature desperate to bury or unearth something. Her hair hung in ragged strands, face streaked with sweat and dust. She didn't notice him, not until he stepped closer and the dry grass cracked beneath his boots. That's when she froze. In her hands glimmered a shape he hadn't seen in 20 years, a curved, tarnished piece of gold, unmistakable as the crest once hammered into his family's strongbox. His heart kicked hard. That strongbox had gone missing the night his father died in a barn fire, along with every coin, nugget, and heirloom they owned. Folks said the flame swallowed it whole, but he always knew better. Someone had stolen it. And now, this girl was clutching the proof. "Where'd you get that?" His voice came low, steady, but even to his own ears it sounded dangerous. The girl scrambled back, eyes wide. She was no older than 15, bones sharp under her skin, clothes torn like she'd been running for days. The gold piece trembled in her grip, as if she feared he might strike her for it. "I found it here," she stammered, her voice cracked. "It was already in the ground." The rancher knelt, ignoring the dirt staining his knees. He knew this patch of earth. His father had ridden fence here, often late into the night. Why would the gold resurface here, of all places? The girl swallowed hard, as if carrying some secret bigger than herself. "There's more," she whispered, pointing to the shallow pit she'd been digging. Sure enough, glints caught in the dim light. More coins, dull but unmistakable. The rancher's mouth went dry. 20 years of hunger, debt, and bitterness, all clawing back to life in that dirt hole. But before he could speak again, a sound split the silence. Hoofbeats, slow, deliberate, drawing closer from the east road. The girl's head snapped up in fear. "They can't find me here," she hissed, clutching the gold tighter. "Please, don't let them see me." The rancher rose to his full height, shadows long behind him. Whoever was coming, they'd be here in seconds. And he still didn't know who this girl was, or why she carried his family's lost fortune in her hands. The hoofbeats grew louder. Then a man's voice called out from the dark. "Rancher! You out here?" The rancher's jaw tightened. He recognized that voice. Deputy Clay Henshaw, a man who never rode alone. If Clay was here, the law, or someone hiding behind it, was sniffing after this girl. The girl's eyes widened as she pressed the gold against her chest like it was a living heart. "Don't tell him," she whispered. "Please. If they take me, I'll never make it back." "Back where?" the rancher wanted to ask, but there was no time. Clay's horse stopped just beyond the fence line. "Saw your lamp still burning," the deputy called. "Got word of a drifter girl that been snooping around. Might be she's run off with something that ain't hers." The rancher glanced down at the coins glinting in the dirt. To tell Clay the truth meant losing the gold, maybe forever. To lie meant siding with a girl he didn't know, whose hands were stained with his family's fortune. He could almost hear his father's voice, gruff and bitter from the grave. "Don't trust strays. Gold brings snakes to the surface." But he also remembered his mother, years after the fire, rocking herself thin in a chair and whispering that maybe, someday, the truth would come back. The girl's breathing grew ragged. "They'll say I stole it, but I didn't. I swear. It was buried out here long before I came." The rancher's mind spun. Was she telling the truth, or was she just another thief caught in the wrong light? Skla. Ai's boots hit the ground with a heavy thud. He was walking closer now, hand resting on the butt of his pistol. "If you've seen her, best say so. Could be she's dangerous." The rancher lowered his voice, speaking only to the girl. "If I keep you hidden, you bring trouble on my land. Men like Clay don't forget. But if I hand you over, what then?" Her lips trembled. "Then I'll disappear like I never lived at all." The rancher's fists tightened at his sides. A choice cut clean before him. Protect the gold and the girl, or hand both to the law and keep his name clean. He straightened, boots firm in the soil, and called out toward the deputy. "Clay!" The word snagged in his throat, torn between truth and lie. Before he could finish, another voice cut across the night, harsh and impatient. "Quit jawing, Henshaw! Lights moving out by them trees!" More riders, not just lawmen. Someone else was hunting her too. "Hell," the rancher muttered under his breath. Shadows stretched long as 3 more riders appeared behind Clay, their silhouettes ragged and lean. Not deputies. Bounty men, rough from the trail, with rifles strapped cross-saddle. One spit into the dirt and barked, We saw her tracks. Girl's close. The girl's hand clamped on the rancher's sleeve, trembling like a trapped bird. They ain't law, she whispered. They'll kill me if they find me. Clay shifted uneasy, glancing back at the bounty riders. Don't get riled. She's wanted. They're here to help. But the way his hand twitched near his belt said even he didn't believe the words. The rancher's eyes cut to the girl. She wasn't just running from hunger or theft. Whatever she carried, the gold or some secret buried with it, had drawn men like flies. The lead bounty man stepped forward. Evening, rancher. Saw you talking to shadows. Best be straight with us. The girl's worth more than what you'll scrape from these dry acres. The rancher didn't move. His gut twisted. If they searched, they'd find her in a heartbeat. He could almost feel the coins in the dirt burning behind him, calling attention. Clay cleared his throat. If she's here, hand her over. No good comes of harboring runaways. The rancher's silence stretched, long and taut. The men shifted in their saddles, the leather creaking. The air smelled of horse sweat, gun oil, and dust. Finally, the rancher spoke, low but steady. My land's my own. No drifter girl passed through here tonight. The girl's grip on his sleeve tightened until it hurt. Relief flickered in her eyes, but fear still outweighed it. The bounty man narrowed his gaze. That's so? His boot crunched forward, rifle sliding free. Then you won't mind us taking a look around. The rancher's hand dropped to his holster. Not a draw, not yet, but close enough the firelight gleamed on the worn metal. Step 1 foot past this fence, you best be ready to finish what you start. A silence cut sharp as a blade. Even Clay froze, eyes darting between the men. The bounty rider sneered. Ain't no gold buried here, rancher. Only thing worth digging up is that girl. The words sliced deep. They knew. The girl's whisper came like a knife against his ear. Please, don't let them take me. And in the next heartbeat, the lead rider swung his rifle down, barrel catching the moonlight. Then we'll take her ourselves. The standoff cracked like dry timber. The rancher didn't blink, though his pulse hammered like hooves on hardpan. His thumb hovered near the hammer of his Colt. Clay muttered something under his breath, but the bounty men stayed still, measuring him, the girl, the night. Then, as sudden as the threat had risen, the riders drew back. Their leader spat into the dirt. Fine. Rancher wants to play mule-headed. Let him. But that girl don't walk free long. She's marked. He swung into his saddle, the others following. Clay lingered, eyes narrowed. You're making a mistake, he said quietly. Then he rode after them, their shapes swallowed by the plains. Silence, heavy, suffocating. The girl collapsed into the dirt, pressing her palms over her face. Her shoulders shook, but no sound came. The rancher crouched near her, the fire in his chest cooling to an ache. You want to tell me what that was about? His voice came low, softer now. She lowered her hands, revealing eyes raw with unshed tears. They ain't bounty hunters. They're diggers, men who knew about the gold. Been after me since I found the first piece near the canyon. The rancher studied her face. She wasn't lying. Truth trembled out of her like breath in winter. I thought, she went on, if I could find where it came from, maybe I could buy back a life. My little brother, he's sick. I can't feed him, can't keep him warm. The gold's the only thing I had left to hope for. Her voice cracked on the word, brother. The rancher looked at the coins glittering in the shallow pit. Years of loss, bitterness, debt, all clawed up with the dirt. His father's legacy, his mother's prayers, and now this girl's desperate hope, tangled in it. He reached into the hole, lifted a coin, felt its cold weight. For 2 decades he'd dreamed of this moment, finding what was stolen. Now that it was in his hand, it felt heavier than iron. Slowly he pressed it into the girl's palm. Her fingers curled around it, eyes wide, searching his face. Gold won't save him, the rancher said, but maybe time will. And tonight, I bought you a little. Her lip trembled. For the first time, a spark of trust lit her features. She nodded, whispering, thank you. The moment hung fragile between them, until, faint in the distance, came the echo of hoofbeats again. This time, faster, closer. The danger hadn't ridden away. It was circling back. The hoofbeats rolled closer, hard as thunder on the dry ground. The girl scrambled to her feet, clutching the coin in her fist. The rancher rose with her, jaw set. This time, there would be no bluffing. Through the haze of dusk came the riders again, lanterns swinging, rifles gleaming. Clay's voice rang sharp. There! By the trees! The rancher pulled the girl behind him, his coals, to clearing leather in one smooth draw. No further, he barked. The bounty leader reined up, face twisted in a sneer. You think you can keep her? That gold belongs to men who lost it fair and square. Fair? The rancher snapped, fire rising in his chest. That gold was my father's, stolen the night he burned alive in his own barn. You scavengers buried it in the dirt and left my family to starve. For a breath, silence. Then the man's grin broke cruel and wide. Maybe so, but your daddy ain't here to claim it. The rancher leveled his Colt, steel unwavering. But I am. The air snapped taut. Clay's hand twitched toward his revolver, torn between sides. The girl clung to the rancher's sleeve, whispering, Don't. Please don't. And in that moment, something shifted. The rancher lowered the barrel, not in surrender, but in choice. You want the gold? He said. Take it. But the girl walks free. She don't carry your sins. The bounty man spat. We ain't here for her kindness. She knows too much. The rancher's eyes hardened. Then you'll ride through me first. What followed was silence, thick as thunderclouds. None of the riders moved. They saw in his stance the kind of man who'd already lost everything worth fearing, and who wouldn't hesitate to end the night in blood. At last, the leader jerked his reins, breaking the spell. Ain't worth it. Not tonight. With a curse, he wheeled his horse, the others following. Clay lingered, eyes heavy, then turned his mount without a word. The hoofbeats faded into the dark. The girl sagged, knees weak. You gave up your gold, she whispered. The rancher holstered his Colt, staring at the shallow pit. Gold buried 20 years ain't worth more than the living who stand before me. Her eyes shone, though tears streaked her dirt-stained cheeks. She clutched the coin to her heart. Weeks later, word spread quiet through the town. A sick boy in the hills was fed and clothed, his health returning little by little. And the rancher, though still poor in coin, found his nights lighter, the bitterness lifted from his chest. Years down the line, folks said they'd sometimes see a young woman ride past his fence line, always pausing to tip her hat before carrying on. And the rancher, older, weathered, standing on his porch, would watch her fade into the horizon, where the sun bled gold across the plains. An empty strongbox sat half buried in the dirt by the cottonwoods, its lid rusted open, catching the last fire of the sunset.